Welcome, everyone. Welcome. This is my first YouTube live. Hey, everyone, how are you doing? And so I'm going to wait a few minutes to see if we have any of the previous participants to join. What I want to do today is to check in on us. As you know, today we completed, or yesterday rather, because today is the 8th. So yesterday we completed week 1 of our 30-day challenge in creating a satisfying life. We focused on self awareness. And of course, you know that before we can create a satisfying life, we have to understand ourselves. So join me as we reflect on what we learned as we last week, as we, you know, process our self awareness. And as you join, guys, drop a comment. You can tell me where you're watching from. Let me know if you have been following, and not only following, but the goal is for you to implement, right? The goal is for you to implement and do this 30-day challenge because we want to become a better and improved us. Not for anyone else, but for us. Join me. Let me know where you're actually joining in from. And yes, I want to know what you learned about yourself over the past 7 days. And as you can see, guys, I am really not in my regular space, but yet I decide I'm not going to wait. I'm on vacation and I'm just sitting. I'm not going to say where I am. You can probably see exactly where I am. But I've decided to do it tonight. I'm not going to wait until I get home. That would definitely defeat the purpose. So, all my subscribers, please join me. Even if you're not a subscriber and you're watching, go ahead and join me. Let us talk about what we have noticed about ourselves and talk about what's next for week number 2. Sorry for the glare in my glasses, but if I don't wear my glasses, I won't be able to read your comment. So, yes, while I'm waiting for others to join in, of course, we talked about week 1. How was week 1 for you? What did you learn about yourself? Why week 1 matters. Let's talk about why week 1 matters, right? Key teaching moment. Why did week 1 matters? Here's why I believe week 1 matters, or here's why I know that week 1 actually matters. Many of us, many people, you, myself, many of us, we talk about changing our lives and we try to change our lives without first understanding our values, our emotions, or what is shaping our decisions. But guys, clarity about ourselves create confidence about our decision, right? So if we don't have that clarity about ourselves, right? If we do not have that clarity about ourselves, it will definitely be a struggle for us to implement or even work toward that change that we so desire. Have you ever craved something? Have you ever desired something but unable to attain it, unable to reach it, unable to get it because we don't know where to start, we don't know where to get it from. But here, that is why it's important. We need that clarity. And of course, over the past 5 days, I'm hoping that you had some clarity. You had some clarity when you completed the daily activities. Remember what we explored last week: values, strengths, emotional patterns, what drained our energy, what builds our energy, and self compassion. Which of those actually stood out to you? Which one resonates with you the most? I think for me was self compassion. And I think a lot of us struggle with self compassion because we can, for me, we can have compassion for others, right? But when we come to ourselves, I think we hold ourselves at such high level, right? To the point where we're looking for perfection, and we're looking for perfection. So if we make a simple mistake, we critique ourselves, we criticize ourselves instead of giving ourselves some grace. So how about, sometimes it's very important, the grace that we give others, give that to ourselves as well. Grace we give others, we also should be able to give ourselves grace. Here's a question. We talked about, what did you learn about yourself over the past week? Think about it. What did you learn about yourself? Share it. What did you learn about yourself over the past week? Now, what surprised you most? If you have been following over the past week and you have really been doing the exercises and reflecting on them, what surprised you the most? What is one thing you understand about yourself that you didn't understand before? That's another question. What is one thing that you understand about yourself that you did not understand before? I think for me, one thing I understood about myself, or I'm going to say reminded, is that I was very consistent. Usually, transparency, I'll start something and in the middle, I'll start something else without actually completing this one task. So I was very consistent, and I learned that I can be very consistent if I apply myself. That is one thing that I learned about myself this week. Yeah. I'm going to pause here and wait for some comments, some likes. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Where are you joining me from? So I just saw you join, and just a recap of what this live is all about. So a week ago, we started our 30-day challenge on creating a satisfying life. Yesterday was the 7th, so we successfully completed 1 week, and we just want to reflect and share with each other how that has changed us. What did you learn about yourself? It's talking about why self awareness for the first week is very important. Thank you very much from West Palm Beach. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining. So, were you able to complete or join us? Did you complete week one? The Infinite Elevation Enterprise. Thank you so very much for joining. Were you able to complete week one? Thank you so very much. Yes, it is. Clarity is very important. We need to have that clarity before we can start executing. Thanks very much for that input. Good evening, Pam. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Silly Tiff, good evening. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So, we are talking about just a recap. If you have been following over the past week, we started our 30-day challenge in creating a satisfying life. And every day, we actually gave some tips on how to start creating that satisfying life. Our first week, we focus on self awareness. So, knowing ourselves, our values, our strengths, our emotional pattern, energy drain, what builds our energy, and most of all, self compassion. So, tonight, we just want to, with everyone, share with me where you're watching from and what did you learn about yourself during this exercise? What did you learn about yourself? Here are some questions that you can answer. What surprised you most about yourself? What is at least one thing you now understand about yourself that you didn't before? Drop a comment. Thank you. Oh, we have two from Florida, Pam and Tiffany from Florida. Tiffany said, I realize how important it is to tend to myself, like a mental health self care, and how much better I am. And then we had Giselle. Thank you for joining, Giselle. Where you joining from? He said, I realize that I'm always needing, think the world revolve around me. Pam, I learned to take it easy, rest and relax. Okay, Pam, I hear you talking about self care. Exactly. We do have to slow down sometimes, stay in that moment with ourselves only. And so sometimes, and yeah, oh, Giselle from Jamaica, thank you so very much for joining. This will be a weekly check in. This will be a weekly check in. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not in my comfort space, but I made a commitment and I'm going to keep my commitment that I will definitely check in at the end of each week. We'll be doing a live just to check in to see how everyone is doing, what have everyone learned. Because, hey, if we're committed to do something, especially regarding life improvement, we want to know that yes, it is working. We are seeing that change. And it's very much okay. If you missed a few days over the past week, that's okay. Here is why it's okay, because growth is not about perfection. And I spoke about that, about what I learned about myself. Growth is not about perfection. When I was doing self compassion exercise yesterday, I realized, hey, I'm very hard on myself. I critique myself when I make an error, but hey, growth is not about perfection, it is about consistency. So if you missed a day, the videos are there. You can always go back, look at the video, and do that exercise. We just need to be consistent. We just need to be consistent. And even if you're brand new, you can definitely restart today. If you're brand new, we can definitely restart today. Yes, sir. Yes, definitely. That's a powerful growth. A powerful growth is all about consistency. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you so very much for joining. Please share the live, comment, like. Right. Thank you for joining. You're joining from Florida. Were you able to participate in the past 7 days activity? And if so, tell us something. One thing you learned about yourself, or what surprised you most about yourself? What is one thing that you understood about yourself that you didn't understand before? And guys, please share the live. Live. Please share the live. And this is my first time doing the live. So, and for some reason, I'm enjoying it though. I'm very much enjoying this live. Please like, comment. You guys are doing a great job. I must say thank you guys so very much for the support. Share, like, comment. I'm going to be on here for another 10, 15 minutes. Yes, consistency is key. Elevation enforced daily. I love that. And while I'm here, let me also ask you, if you haven't yet, like and subscribe to the Infinite Elevation Enterprise. Please do so. Like and subscribe to his page. He has some great educational tip as well, surrounded around mindset. And mindset, we definitely have to analyze our mindset. We definitely needs to change our mindset, because changing our mindset also fosters growth. And that's what we all are looking for, growth. And as I said, if you missed last week, we can start today. If you missed last week, we can start today. The videos are still up. Take a minute, watch them, and do the daily exercise. Now, today, and I must apologize, I have not yet posted today's video because I really wanted to do this live first to check in with everyone before we continue to next week. And next week actually starts today. So next week, here it is. We will be focusing on strengthening your mindset and emotional wellness. And this goes very well with the Infinite Elevation Enterprise. Yes, so coming up this week, starting today, we're going to be looking at focusing on strengthening our mindset and our emotional wellness. Because your thoughts, man, our thoughts, it's all starts with the mind, right? Our thoughts influence our confidence, our choices, and our future. And something just popped into my mind. It said, be he conformed by the renewing of your mind, right? So it must change the mindset. We must change the mindset. Guys, we cannot move beyond anything. We cannot move forward in life if we don't move beyond our current thinking. If you agree with that statement, please comment the word agree. Yes, Pam, the mind is a terrible thing to waste, and we don't want to waste it. We only have one, right? We don't want to waste it. Yes, Giselle, agree. Silly Tiff, agree. Yes, if you agree with that statement, you cannot move beyond, you cannot change your life. Pam, thank you for agreeing. If we don't move from beyond our current thinking. Yes. And if we learn nothing else from this life tonight, thank you for agreeing. E. Right, thank you so very much. And if you don't agree with anything else for tonight, and if you don't learn anything else, let this line become your signature line of the night. We cannot move forward. We cannot change our life. We cannot move beyond anything without changing our thinking. I appreciate your everyone's support tonight so very much. I'm looking forward to more live. This is my first one, and I'm looking forward to doing many more. And remember, you can choose, right? Week one was all about clarity. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. Can anyone tell me exactly where I'm sitting? Where in the house am I sitting? That's a I may have to give anyone who get that right a gift, right? So week one was about clarity. Week two will be about strengthening our minds. And together we are building a life that is intentional, that is healthy and satisfying. Pam said in the living room. No, Pam. Oh, yes. Life should be, I tell you what, and this because I'm old, right? Because the older I get, the more Giselle set up like you're in your computer room. No, it's not. But I was gonna say, the older I get, right, the more I value peace and happiness, right? And peace and happiness are two great components of a satisfying life. Everyone who's on this live tonight, I'm going to ask this one question. Do you want to live or continue living a life that is not satisfying? My answer is no. Whatever satisfying life looks like for you. Do you want to continue living a life that is not satisfying? No, I'm not in the bedroom. I'm not in the guest room. Absolutely not. Nope. I 100% agree with you. No, we don't. So now that we are creating kitchen, Pam, the kitchen is not my place. Now that we're creating a satisfying life, guys, we definitely has to change the mindset. We have to be intentional. We definitely have to set boundaries. And I'm not going to get into week 2, but those are some of the things that we have to. Josie, we don't give up now. Oh my God, Josie said we give up. Okay. So since you guys cannot figure it out, right? I'm actually in the bathroom, guys. I couldn't find, I'm on vacation, somewhere on vacation, right? And I could not find a place that's gonna be so yes, I'm sitting in the bathroom. Yes, Pam, I'm in the bathroom, right? But and that's because I was very intentional about tonight. When I created this 30-day challenge, I told myself at the end of every week that I'll do a live to just to check in on everyone. Regardless of where I am going to find a space, I am going to find time. And it so happened that this is the only space that I have tonight. And I told myself, hey, I'm doing this and I'm having fun and we are learning from each other. And we are definitely learning from each other. Yes. Guys, any questions for me that I hmm, can try to answer before we go? Do you have any questions for me? You have shared about you. Any questions for me or any topics that you would like for me to discuss in the future? If you have a topic that you'd like for me to discuss in the future, if you have any questions for me, go ahead. Pam, cooking. Okay. I can cook now. I don't cook, but I can cook. So one evening, I'm going to get on live and I'm going to show everyone how to make the best pumpkin porridge. Pam, if you ever had my pumpkin porridge, you'll know I make the best pumpkin porridge. Don't tell me that's not cooking because I'm using the stove, I'm using pot, I'm using water, I'm using everything you use to cook. So don't tell me it's not cooking. It's definitely cooking. Yes. Oh man, Jazil, that's a good question. How did you overcome trauma and traumatic events in your mind? Whew. That may have to be a one-on-one. That may have to be a one-on-one session there, Jazil. But here it is. I I have experienced a lot of trauma. One significant one that that's something that even during the healing process, right? Even after being healed, the memory never fades. You're triggered by any and everything. The first thing I learned to do was to forgive myself. And I was writing a book one day, and the thought came to my mind, you have to forgive yourself. And I'm like, forgive myself? I'm innocent. What did I do? But yes, I definitely had to forgive myself for allowing what happened to me to have me crippled for a very, very long time, right? You have to forgive people. So I forgive myself for allowing things that were out of my control to keep me captive in my mind, because when things happen, right? Sometimes there's shame, sometimes there's embarrassment, sometimes a lot of things. Sometimes you don't even think that as a person you're worth it. Honestly, you don't even think as a person sometimes you're worthy anything. And so that's my first step. I had to forgive myself for entertaining the negative thoughts because of traumatic experience. And then the hardest thing is having to forgive people, right? Resentment and bitterness, yes. The second thing is having to forgive people. And here it is. I didn't go to any formal therapy. I became my own therapist even before becoming a therapist, right? And one of the things that I see is transparency. When you start to become transparent with yourself, right? When you start sharing, when you're able to express, it's very powerful for that healing journey. There are times when you think people looks at you different. People look at you different because the mind will start to play the trick. And if I say this happened, people will start to judge me. But then I had to tell myself, that's what the fear is telling me. I have no evidence that folks are going to judge me, right? Um, and then a big part for me is helping others through their traumatic event, right? So when I help others, my healing becomes easier and easier and easier. And every job position that I've held over the past several years allows me to help others through their trauma. And the more I help them, the more healed I become. Jazeel, does that make sense? And it all goes back to renewing the mind, right? Start thinking positive about ourselves. Like for me, one negative, I have learned that with every one negative thing about myself, I find five positive to counteract the one negative. Most definitely. Most definitely. We can discuss that. I'll remember that. But remember now, when we start going deep, if it's, I may shed a tear. Who knows? Because even now I'm tearing up, but you can't see behind the glasses. So, oh my gosh. Yeah. I may just do a live one day and certain things, but life, right? Thank you guys for joining. Any other questions from anyone else? And please take time out for yourself. In everything life, we are so busy doing everything. Yeah, we're definitely busy, but here is what I'm going to ask each person to do over the course of next week. Every day, take 2 to 5 minutes. That's enough. You can take 2 to 5 minutes out of 24 hours, just 2 to 5 minutes, and sit with yourself. It's a struggle because when we start sitting with ourselves, our mind start wandering all over the place. And sometimes sitting with ourselves will bring back negative experiences, right? But try to sit with ourselves, take deep breaths, just stay in the moment. And if your mind start wandering, you acknowledge it and allow your mind to take it to a place where you feel at peace, where you have tranquility. And of course, prayer, prayer, prayer. Nothing beats prayer and our trust and faith in God. Because He's gonna help us through it all. He have helped us, He will help us, and we have to depend, right? Definitely depend on Him. So, guys, thank you so very much. Until next week. See you guys next week. I do appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Pam, I'm telling you, the older we get, the more we get there. Pam say, at my age, and Pam is what, 16? At my age, I am at peace with myself. Thank you so very much, ma'am. And Pam, if I have to ask, I'm gonna ask just for everyone who's here and for myself. And I did say Pam is 16. That was a joke. She's not 16. I won't say how old she is, but she's in her 60s. Pam, were you always at peace with yourself? And if the answer is no, about what age would you say you are totally at peace with yourself? 50. Woo! Look at God. Thank you. And I asked that question to say this. For those of us who are not totally at peace with ourselves, give ourselves some grace, give ourselves some self compassion. It's coming. It's coming. Because I know sometimes we like to say to ourselves, I should already be in this, and I should already have that, and I should already be at peace, and I should already found my happiness. But it's coming. It's a journey, and we'll get there. We will definitely get there. Pam, thank you so very much for sharing that. And guys, see you next week. I appreciate it. Share the live. And I'm getting ready now to do a video for day number 8. Stay tuned. Thank you very much.